Okay then. Oops, I didn't mean to play that. So this is kind of a GM plus player guest cut, I guess, of the last session since we've lost half the audio for it. So obviously, yeah, like I said, it's been a while since we played this, so there's a big gap between then and when we're recording this right now. So,
well, the date's in that video, the 25th of June. We recorded.
Oh wow!
We recorded it, so yeah.
Holy shit! So over a month ago, this was recorded. Yeah. So we'll do our best, I guess. So obviously, yeah, jump in if you remember anything or want to correct me. But yeah, from what I remember, where you guys left off is you were in Argynvostholt. And you came into this sort of chapel area and you saw 3 figures standing there. Now, from what I remember, you guys tried to speak to them, didn't you? I can't remember what you said to them. I think you were sort of just trying to reason with them or get some info.
Just trying to find what they were up to and things like that, but it didn't.
They weren't too happy with you guys. I mean, basically, what these guys said, and they were sort of, I don't know if I described in the last session, but there's basically 3 armored figures which were kneeling in front of the chapel, and they stood up and they turned to you as you walked in, and they were basically like, "Get out, leave Argynvostholt now. This is your final warning." And I think you guys are trying to find out who they served and why they wanted you to leave, and then you tried to say, "We'll leave the room."
Yeah.
And they were just not having it. They were just like, "Get out, get out."
I think I remember trying to like sit them down and have like rations, like a little sit down picnic to talk things out, but they weren't having it.
I mean, if anything, it just made them more angry.
I'm not surprised.
Yeah. So yes, this basically turned into quite a big fight, and I think you guys kind of realized that, but you see how powerful these guys were. I'm pretty sure they pretty much insta down Dom.
Yeah, Dom like pretty much went down straight away.
Yeah,
I think he was pretty weak though, generally, but
yeah, he was definitely weakened. Yeah, I think all of you were weakened from this. You did have a bit of a short rest, I think, or Dom didn't for some reason. I can't remember why, but yeah, he was definitely weaker. But yeah, nevertheless, he got one shot. Pretty much. And Esmeralda, I think, is the one who managed to help him. She fired off a few spells. She gave you guys healing potions. She actually used up all her healing potions, I think, in this bit.
Didn't she use one, bring someone back up, and then they went down again?
I think it might have been Dom. Oh, no, I think Dan might have gone down as well, actually.
I'm pretty sure like she used a potion, but it didn't, like someone else then went down. So maybe like Dom went down, was brought up by the potion, I think then Dan went down.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it was something like that. And what ended up happening? Yeah, no, I think you're right, because I think what ended up happening was she said to Dom, "Drag your friend out and escape."
Yeah.
I
bolted as well, pretty much. Like.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So yeah, Xyril was like, "Let's get out of here." So I'll say now, as the DM, I think you guys made the right decision. I was really surprised. I thought you'd try and stick it out and fight.
No, I don't think any of us are particularly.
Yeah. I mean, what I thought would do you guys in is the temptation, because this place obviously holds secrets.
Yeah. I think
unfortunately, so
me and Jafar are just adding it to our hit list of locations.
Yeah. I mean, of course, it's not going anywhere, so you can always come back. Have Esmeralda with you next time, which is the only difference. I mean, who knows? Maybe you'll encounter her, but yeah. So what ended up happening in this fight was, Dom went down. He got healed by Esmeralda, and then and then Dan got downed. And I think Esmeralda basically said to you guys, "Run, and I'll cover you."
Yeah.
And she didn't really elaborate, but she said, "I have ways to, kind of lose them."
Yeah, we didn't really have any options, so we just
No, so you guys had to hightail it out of there. So one thing I will tell you is the room from the previous session where Dan hit the fire and it exploded out.
Oh yeah.
If he hadn't hit the fire, you would have got a bit of info on these guys.
Oh, okay. The little.
And you?
I think I can't remember who it was. Yeah, somebody. I think it was either me or Dan. Like fired at it like straight away.
Yeah, which is understandable, but just one of those things.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's an outside area here as well, which you can see, and then there's upstairs. So yeah. Who knows? Never mind. But anyway, yeah. So I think we'll skip ahead here.
Yeah.
So this is just all the sort of combat section.
I think I tried casting.
Wow, this is a long bit.
Didn't make a difference.
Yes, you did. Yeah. I think it. Oh no, it helped. It helped them retreat.
Oh, okay.
But they were kind of chasing, but obviously because they couldn't see, it was quite difficult.
Yeah.
Wow, it looks like this was a long fight. I didn't realize. It looks like you guys are still planning.
Yeah, it was pretty good. We tried our best, and then it just didn't.
Yeah. No, you did. Yeah. So I think you ended up back in this main hallway bit.
Yeah.
And I don't know what you guys did. I think you were just decided to long rest here.
Yeah, but basically the idea anyway was not to go outside because bad things are outside. And it was a lesser of two evils to stay in here. And then we basically propped ourselves up against the front door and basically long rested there with me on lookout because I was pretty much fine.
Yes. Yep.
And I could do what I need to do in like a short rest.
Yep.
So
I think you guys were also kind of freaked out about the coffin with your name on it. Outside,
yeah, that was I definitely that was the extra reason that Xyril didn't want to go outside.
Which,
so.
Again, a fair enough reason. And then I think during this rest, so hopefully we'll see in a minute if I skip ahead. Esmeralda pops up again.
Yeah, sneaking up on me in the night.
Indeed, yeah.
Which,
so
Xyril thought was
here we go. Yeah. So Esmeralda popped up, and I don't remember exactly what she said to you, but I think she kind of said to you that, yeah, I've lost them, and I need to go take care of some business, and I'll meet you guys. I think it was back in Valaki, and if not in Valaki, then to head to Kresk if you missed her. I don't know if she elaborated. This is one of the things I have to be careful about.
I don't think she did. I think she. I can't remember that she did. I think she just pretty much just said, I'm going.
Okay.
I'm going to be. I might be here in like a day or so. Or.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's what I expected her to say. She's obviously just met you guys, but yeah, I think one of the main things from that was she said, "I'll be in Valaki 2 days from now, and if I don't see you in Valaki, then I'll see you in Kresk." Obviously, she agreed in the previous session to help you fight Strahd, so she was still like, "I'm still on board with that, but I've got some stuff to take care of."
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And then I think you guys finished the rest of your long rest pretty uneventfully.
Yeah, and then we sort of saw the wagon was still there, the cart.
It was indeed,
with the coffin with Xyril's name on it, which I then think I believe I blasted from the door.
Ah, yes, you're right. Yeah, so you blasted it from range, and what it turned out was I think they were just bats. It was like a swarm of bats inside.
Yeah, bats came out of the coffin and attacked me. And
I
quickly killed them.
Yeah, I mean they weren't super strong.
Yeah.
It was more I guess the creepiness of having the coffin there. Cool. And then I don't think there's much else around this bit. I think you guys. This is probably. Oh yeah, so you guys decided where you wanted to go next.
Yeah.
Obviously, I think you all agreed you'll go back to Argynvost at some point.
Yeah.
To be fair, you were none of you were full health. I think during that bit, so who knows how it would have gone otherwise. But
yeah, no, exactly. I think. Well, even then, I think they were quite strong. I think
they were very strong.
Yeah, even at full power, I think we would have struggled.
It's not an area I expected you to go to because I thought you guys were heading to the winery, and then when you changed track, I was a bit worried. But obviously, it's all worked out. All worked out. Okay, so I think you guys, you headed over to where you thought the winery was.
Yeah.
I think the only thing you met a couple of things on the road. So the first one was, I'm trying to see if I reveal anything here. I'm pinging it, so I'm assuming that's the Wisp.
That was the tower. Yeah, the watchtower.
Right. Looks like someone zooming. So from what I remember of this bit, so Dan's character, Eirril, he saw like a light.
Yeah.
I went a bit far ahead, but
I think we jumped ahead because that's where we thought we were.
Oh yes, and I was like, no, it's back there. Yeah, so I'll pause it there. So Eirril saw, I can't remember if it was all of you, but anyway, someone saw a sort of light that was kind of like flickering in the distance, and that's right, you said you're familiar after it. And your spider saw a tower. But what your spider couldn't find was it couldn't get closer to the light.
Yeah, it kept moving away. That's it.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So you couldn't get closer to the light, but you found a tower, which is sort of a collapsed tower. And what you guys ended up doing was you basically followed the light to the tower. And when you as you were following the light, it kind of went into the tower and then it just kind of blinked out.
Yeah.
And then you guys, from what I remember, you went into the tower and you found a chest which Eirril opened.
Mm-hmm.
And this is basically when all around you just a swarm of zombies popped out.
Yeah.
And the sort of light, I think you guys did figure out in character, you figured out was a wisp. It's called like a will-o-wisp or something like that.
Wisp, yeah.
Yeah.
I remember, I'm guessing it's Eirril's. Eirril's probably the only person who's going to be able to do that check.
Yeah, and I think he did do like fairly well on it. Also taking in mind his backstory as well.
Yeah.
So this was a pretty big fight. I think this took up a lot of the session. There were a lot of zombies.
It took a long time to get down. Yeah.
I actually cut the zombies down because I didn't want to have so many turns. So you guys would have actually fought more zombies.
Oh,
but
jeez.
when I rolled up the number, I was like, man, this is so many. So
I think even then we struggled. We struggled with that many.
We did, which was interesting. So because they were so weak, I kind of was like, they'll do some damage. I didn't expect them to get anywhere near close to killing you guys.
The thing is in D&D, like a lot of the time is that the more turns wins.
Yes, so that's very true.
If you've got a lot of more people, one side of more turns in the other, then chances are they'll beat them out in a straight fight, obviously.
Yeah, no, that's very true. Yeah, and that's basically what ended up happening here. There were just so many of them, and so I actually cut this number down for my roll because I rolled for this encounter, but I just didn't want to do so many zombies. So yeah, this was like a slightly smaller force. So obviously, I think Dan almost died. Yeah, he almost died from this. Yeah. Which is pretty funny because you guys
I think even Dom got pretty bad.
Dom got a bit of a beating, but he was raging, so he took half health. Obviously, he would have been in a very bad state. But it's pretty unfortunate that you guys just long rested and you basically ran into this encounter. One thing which I don't know if I said is this is a one-off encounter, so you actually won't be able to get this again.
Yeah, which is good. But
yeah. Sometimes I smudge the encounters because technically, according to the book, you're meant to roll for each encounter, but sometimes I force an encounter if I think it's cool or I think it's like appropriate, or sometimes I just make up like some of my own. So yeah, but this one in particular, you'll never see this one again.
Cool.
It's kind of hard to do because obviously it's one way like you kind of are not like tricked, but you kind of lured into it.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't really work again if you did it. Yeah. So you guys pretty much you beat all the zombies. As we said, like Dan got pretty. So did Dom, but he was taking half damage, so he was right. You killed the Wisp as well, which was a good thing you killed it. I wouldn't say the effect, but it could have potentially been pretty bad.
Yeah. Well, I think that was my main target. I think on my turns I focused on the Wisp because I think from an RP standpoint, I didn't want it to summon more zombies.
Right.
So that was
that was a good idea. I mean, it also has an ability to turn invisible, which I didn't end up using because sometimes I like to factor in like how intelligent I think it is. I didn't think a creature that was just trying to eat you would want to turn invisible.
Yeah.
So
that's normally a retreat tactic more than anything.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I mean, I think you did a lot of damage to it in one go, which it didn't really have time to think about that. So yeah, so this looks like it's going to be a lot of the session.
Yeah, a lot of the session was taken up with those zombies.
Oh, cool. Okay, so you guys did it.
And
so Dan
searched the tower, and there was like nothing as well.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, it was quite funny because for a moment I thought you weren't going to search the tower because Dan was kind of like in two minds. Because opening the chest did trigger the zombies to come out, but no, they were. There was nothing inside. I can't remember if I gave him a trinket. I think I might have given him a gothic trinket.
Okay.
But either way, it wasn't like. No, I didn't. Sorry, no, I didn't. It's something I've been meaning to do more of because I've been doing it with the other group. I give them gothic trinkets sometimes, but they're equally not useful. It just gives you like a fun item.
Yeah.
One thing you guys didn't realize, but it made an effect on my rolls in the background, was this was actually desecrated ground.
Oh, really?
So I was wondering if anyone would.
I reckon I wouldn't be surprised this whole area was desecrated.
There's a lot of stuff like that in the background. Like I won't say the others because I can't remember exactly. But there's been like a lot of bits like that. But this one in particular, I was wondering if anyone would realize.
I think unless you're a paladin, you don't even understand that because I know they like one of their abilities. I can't remember what it's called, but it says if you can smell.
It's like consecrated ground or something.
Like you can like smell if it's what's the word? You can smell if there's any undead or fiends or anything, or if it's the ground.
Yeah.
If it's consecrated ground, then it smells bad. And
the ranger from like the expansion is really good at stuff. Yeah, it's Divine Sense. Yeah. The ranger in the expansion is really good. If undead's like a favorite enemy, they're really good at stuff like this. They can like sense undead all around them and. Stuff like that. So it's much better.
Yeah.
So they got a little buff from that. But I was rolling pretty badly in this fight anyway. So.
But what makes a change?
Usually I roll like
critting us constantly.
A couple of times, like I think once I didn't tell you guys, I got like back-to-back nat 20s in a fight, and I smudged it down. So I was like, this is really.
Yeah, sometimes you got to, man. You can't.
Yeah, and it's not fun if like the party just wipes because I rolled like 3 nat 20s in a row, just randomly. So if I get like very lucky with RNG, I do sometimes turn it down.
Yeah.
But just like a on the fly kind of how it goes. Okay, so from here. Oh yeah, sorry, I forgot about this bit.
Yeah.
I forgot about this. Yeah,
rested in a tree. I forgot about that.
Yeah, so what you guys did, from what I remember, is you all basically climbed up trees to like the side of the road, and you encountered basically. So I didn't think I said what it was, but you basically encountered one of the. He looks like one of the guys you fought at Argynvostholt. And he was basically walking along the road, and he hadn't seen you guys. Was the key thing.
Yeah.
So I'm just trying to remember this. Exactly. Well, I was very interested here. I was really interested to see if you guys would confront him or not.
I think because we were busy resting, I don't think we thought. And considering he's walking away from where we want to go, I think it would just entice more trouble than it's worth.
Yes, that's correct. Yeah, he was walking the opposite direction from where you were headed.
If he was walking towards them, then I think we would have intervened. But because it was walking away, if anything, it's one less person to have to worry about.
Yeah. You know? No, this could potentially, again, which is pretty much what a lot of encounters in this campaign are like, is it could have gone like one of so many different ways. Which is why I was very interested to see what you did. He would have been. Oh, should I say this? Yeah, I don't think I probably won't let you encounter him again. But if you had encountered him before you went to Argynvostholt, it would have been a lot more potentially interesting.
Oh, okay.
Because you've already been there, there was kind of less you could get from him, but there was still stuff. But who knows? But yeah, that was very interesting. Yeah, you guys made the decision to basically let him go. Yeah. So he didn't notice you. I did roll for it, just in case he saw you. Oh, I did show you what it was. So I mean, obviously your characters would know, but that's just like a thing.
Oh, you did say that you had the noose around his neck as well.
I did. Yes. So. Yeah. You had that. Yeah, it's the second sort of roaming thing that you guys are seeing, because you also saw the horse and the skeleton.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Obviously, that one
you
took
the horse.
Yes, before Strahd liberated it. Yeah, that was interesting. Okay, cool. So yeah, you guys let that walk off. So basically, all you know is it basically walked off like kind of like this way back towards the crossroad. And I think you pretty much rested the rest of the night. I did roll once or twice, but I did kind of want to give you a break. I mean, part of the reason...
I think we only did a short rest. I don't think it was a long rest.
Oh, was that why? Okay. I was wondering why I didn't make anything pop up, because as a general rule, the book also does this to an extent, but I exaggerate it, that if you go into the wilderness, I make things more...
Yeah. So I think we only rested for like an hour. I'm pretty sure it was like whatever we did a short rest, because it was just health, I think, was our issue. So I think we just short rested.
Okay, that's fair enough. That makes sense. Yeah, because in the wilderness, I do exaggerate things, which is why, for example, when you rested before, because I counted that as the wilderness, you had that ghost pop up on spawn. So stuff like that. Yeah, I just think the wilderness should be more dangerous than if you go off the kind of the established pathways.
Makes sense.
So yeah, cool. So yeah, I think you guys pretty much continued without any other sort of encounters along the way. And right at the end of the session, so this is 2 hours into the session, you finally made it to the winery. I won't bother doing all the description stuff again, but basically it's like, it's a winery.
Decrepit, I think, if I remember rightly.
Yeah, I mean, I'll pull it up here just so I kind of like roughly remember. But basically, you guys found it, and it kind of looked like Actually, no, sorry, no. Before you got to the winery, a guy called you over, didn't he?
Yeah. So there was like the workers or something where they were like, on this top edge.
Yes, that was it. Yeah, so they called you over, and and he was basically kind of like a sort of grumpy-ish old man, and I believe he introduced himself, didn't he? He said his name was Davian.
Yeah, rings a bell.
Yep. So Davian basically kind of explained to you guys. I mean, there was a lot of back and forth. I don't know if you remember the conversation.
All I know is I remember Xyril trying to calm him down and try and be friendly and things like
that. I think it actually did work, because he was grumpy, and I remember him getting sort of slightly less grumpy as the conversation went on. But part of the reason he was grumpy, or sort of the main reason, I guess, is because his winery, essentially, he explained to you guys, has been taken over. Again, this is a bit I have to be careful on, because I can't remember exactly how much he told you.
I don't think he told us much, but we then investigated it after, which gave us all the info anyway.
Yes, that was actually a very good move on your part. I keep forgetting you have this familiar.
Yeah.
And that was very, very useful, because when you guys were on your way here, I wasn't worried per se, but I know that this is basically a really big combat sequence, because there's just so much shit in the winery. It's designed to be like a wave-based encounter.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay. So this is the thing for you. So if you guys have blindly walked in, the way it's structured is literally like waves, and different waves come in at different times. They do different things.
Okay.
But what you did, which was like I said, it was a good idea, is you sent your familiar, the spider, into
I think I remember
scout.
him saying like I think we said to him, we don't really care. We're just after like some barrels of wine. And he was like, well, they're all in there and the place has been taken over. If you want some, you'll have to liberate it. And I think they said we had to work for them and they pay in wine or something.
So what he would have said to you is he would have said that this winery, he would have explained, is basically it's the only source of wine throughout all of Barovia. And he was kind of what he would have said was that people kind of rely on the wine because obviously everyone feels like really shit and depressed. So if the winery goes under, that means no more wine. It means everyone's going to be like, really sad and sober. So he said, if you help me get the winery back, he'll give you like a certain amount of wine.
Yeah.
I don't know if he specified, but it's no problem if he didn't. I can just tell you that he would have said like, X amount of barrels. I think it's like 3 barrels or something. Or like wagons, whatever, 3 wagons.
Yeah.
There is, without ruining it, there is a lot more to this than what you've kind of seen. Yeah. you've seen like the very sort of surface bit of what's going on here.
We haven't even, I don't think anyone in characters connected it, but the Revenant just left this place.
Indeed,
so they've got dealings with the undead in some way, which we haven't explored in any shape or manner.
That's true. Yeah, it was interesting because when the Revenant passed you guys, somebody did kind of comment saying, "Oh, it came from where we're going."
Yeah.
But then it kind of fell by the wayside, and no one mentioned it in character.
Yeah.
It's a good observation. Then, again, something no one's mentioned in character, but why would the winery be attacked? Is it just to shut off people's wine, or is there more to it? So...
Well, this is it. Yeah, but hopefully we'll maybe find out later. But...
Yeah, there's a lot to this bit. Yeah, so it's sort of like a big segment. And you do get a lot out of this bit as well. I'll say, like, not necessarily like immediately, but kind of throughout the campaign, doing this bit does pay off. I'll tell you since you guys are committed to doing this anyway. So, so you send your spider in, and basically you just kind of saw all these kind of, I imagine I describe them sort of like group, like monsters, like sort of twig monster things.
Yeah, they were basically just kind of like twig elementals, as it were. So just
pretty much.
These golems that are just made out of twigs and branches and stuff.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I'm trying to. I thought I showed you a picture. I'll show you this bit because this is your spider scouting. So this is kind of like the ground floor, and there's just these twig monster things like decked out everywhere. You also saw 3 sort of dirty-looking kind of like women, I think.
Yeah.
Who are like chanting and like just doing stuff, and I think they had the twig monsters pouring stuff into the vats.
Yeah, there was like one of them overseeing from the top, and then they were putting something in the wine vats.
Yeah. I don't know if you figured out what it was, but I guess obviously
you could
infer.
I don't think we did.
Okay.
Because I think the issue was, I think I did try, because I think I went in through my pet's, the familiar senses, but I think I tried and did a check, and I don't think I...
Oh, you didn't succeed.
I don't think so. I think, or maybe I found out it was some kind of poison. I can't remember. I think I failed it though.
Okay. In character, you can kind of make your own conclusions, I guess, as to what you think it is. But they were definitely pouring stuff into all the vats. You can see all these big vats here on the ground floor. I've said this a couple of times, but yeah, you just saw like 30, 40 of these like twig things around, just everywhere. They're just everywhere. One of the women had a staff, which was quite notable. I would have definitely mentioned it.
I think that was the one sort of the top right, isn't it? Over that wagon.
Probably, yeah. I can't remember exactly.
That was like I think I remember that being like the main person. Like this is kind of the person who looks more head honcho.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, you would have seen. Yeah, she had this sort of special looking staff. One thing I forgot is you asked Darian, like, can he help at all? And he kind of said that, like, it's just my family. I think if he didn't say it, he would have. Actually, no, I won't say it because it's up to you guys. What happens there? So yeah, I'm trying to think if you saw anything else noticeable. You saw a bunch of crows.
Yeah.
Or ravens.
I think we looked like in the basement. Well, I know we looked everywhere. Like we looked upstairs and I think in the basement because there was something.
Yeah, I'm kind of hoping that the camera's going to pan over it in a moment.
I know it does eventually, but.
Oh yes, cool.
Yeah, because
it's just the top floor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was that person in the top right was like the notable. Yeah, that one, which was the notable person that you was like, yeah, this person's different.
Okay, cool. Okay, so yeah, there's that person there. You can see more. There were different types up here. You can kind of see the different colors. Obviously, we can't zoom in, but yeah, it was sort of different.
But it's definitely this place is just packed. Like there's so many.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
I still don't know what we're gonna do. It's been a month, and I have no idea how we're gonna tackle this.
Yeah, this place is pretty interesting. One thing I will say is it's not as punishing as Argynvostholt. Like Argynvostholt is hard. It's really tough, and you guys didn't even go to all the most dangerous bits.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's like a whole other floor and stuff. But this place is kind of, I'll say it's doable. You know, obviously, you know, things can always go wrong, but
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. I don't know how it's gonna go. I know there's a last bit where we went into the basement. There's a basement bit.
Yeah, I'm hoping. Let me use the arrow keys to kind of skip ahead here because you definitely had a look. Oh, what was that? Oh yeah, it's just a picture of the guy I forgot to show you. So that was Davian, the guy you were talking to.
Yeah.
When you arrived. Let's pull about him, and then in the basement you just see like another woman and another sort of bunch of the monsters. I'm sure I showed a picture of the monsters. Why did I hide that? I can't remember, to be honest. It doesn't really matter. It's probably just stuff your spider wouldn't be able to get to. Okay, 20. I get a picture up. Maybe I don't.
Probably don't. I can't remember if you did.
I did. Oops. Oh, let's go back to the start. Why did I just skip through this bit? But yeah, I think broadly speaking, that was pretty much it. I think
a lot of it was taken up by combat. So
indeed, yeah, this is quite a big sort of combat session. But you know, I guess kind of oscillates between RP and combat.
Probably one of the better sessions to have where we have our missing audio.
Yeah, that's true. Oh god, yeah, that would have been horrendous. Yeah. Oh, there we go. I knew I showed it somewhere. So this is like the most common thing.
Baby groups.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and you would have seen two other types of these guys. One would have been more like needly.
Yeah.
And one would have been more like a sort of viney, like green.
I'm guessing needle blights and vine blights.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
If that's twiggy and it's called a twig bite, a twig blight. I don't D&D's naming convention.
Yeah, not super imaginative. I mean, the twig bites were the most widespread. You would have seen these everywhere, like all over the grounds, everywhere inside. Like, yeah, these guys would have been in a lot of different places. I didn't have pictures of the other two, unfortunately. For some reason, they just weren't in. I've got like a list of things I can push to you guys to show you, and yeah, for some reason, it just wasn't.
I'm guessing you didn't show us the woman then. But...
I didn't have the others, unfortunately. Yeah,
but yeah, it's gonna be an interesting bit of combat.
Indeed, yeah. So the only other thing I'll say is I initially planned for you guys to have this custom encounter that I thought up.
Oh, okay.
But I decided to push it back because I don't want to kind of like shove everything together because there's still so much of the campaign left. I was like, I don't need to rush through this.
No, exactly. Yeah, and I think we're currently trying to get back to Valaki on the time of this festival as well.
Yes. So that was the other thing I was going to mention is that this is, I believe it's day 2. I've got it written down somewhere, but the days have been, time has been progressing in the background. Yeah. So when you guys come back, certain things happen depending on the time. I mean, luckily, since you got the horses, you've been moving around pretty quick. You lost the skeleton horse, so I think the rest of you have been.
I think our issue is resting.
Yeah,
we get battered so hard that we just need to rest all the time, which I think is our main issue because lack of healing. No healers in the group, so
that's true. I have been fudging things down slightly because this campaign is really meant for 4 people, but you've only got 3. So as a result, some things have been slightly nerfed down. But I mean, it's still dangerous. You guys still pretty come close.
Oh yeah, that's it. There's definitely a lot of on edge in this campaign for sure.
Which is quite fun for me from like my perspective as well.
Oh, yeah. Watch us
especially like especially all the decisions I've had to see you guys make because I know all the possible outcomes, but obviously from your perspective, it's just fun.
So it's the pedestal of the DM.
Indeed, yeah, indeed. Well, one thing I do want to work more into it. So I want to work in sort of the more of the dream sequences. I kind of started with your thing. I just need to kind of build on that.
Oh yeah.
Dom had a dream, which is actually important. Depending on what you do, you could link stuff together.
The problem is, like, we're not the kind of party that's going to start talking about our dreams to each other.
No,
that's
true.
the thing. It's
yeah.
Wasn't it Dom's dream that made us go to that manor in the first place?
It was, to be fair, yeah, but that whole encounter didn't go as I expected. So that the dream it didn't really factor in. I mean, he got you in there, but the rest of it didn't play out how I thought it would. So
I think if like he had a pull into it, like in a certain direction in the manor.
No, so that was just you. So I'll just tell you kind of out of character and just kind of for the DM note, you know, this GM cut, what I was kind of intending with the dream. So Dom's dream is more like for the party. So it kind of gives you all like a bit of info, a bit of clues maybe later on for certain places you might go, which would have been quite difficult for you to figure out on your own.
Right.
So I kind of thought, okay, we'll do it in a dream sequence. And then your one is specifically for you because of Xyril's personality and his goals.
Yeah.
And that's why you feel the pull.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
But obviously, you know, it's something, you know, which is up to you. So you're not compelled to go there. It's just a thing. One thing I will say is someone in the other group has found out more about that in character.
Oh, okay.
But that's because he's like a religious, like cleric-y sort of guy, and he's been asking a lot about it. One thing you guys haven't asked a lot about at all is like religion. And there is actually like a bunch of religious stuff in this game.
I don't think any one of us are interested though.
No, it just shows, isn't it? It's like the character mix. It's interesting. The other group, because he's like this cleric he's just big on religion. He's trying to convert people. He ended up finding like a lot about it.
Yeah. I don't think Xyril doesn't care. Jafar is just on a hell bent.
Kratos.
Yeah. and Eirril's got his own agenda. So I think that's the problem. Like, we've all got our own agendas, and that's just not one of them.
Yeah, which is fine. I mean, like I said, there's so much stuff. One thing I'm going to try and work more into is maybe a couple more dream sequences, maybe more tailored to all of your characters. But yeah, we'll see. I'm not sure what I'm going to play next, to be honest. So
we'll see.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, cool. I didn't really have anything else to say on this. I think that pretty much covers.
Yeah, it was actually, it wasn't a lot in there RP wise. A lot of it was
Yeah, but like you said, you know, having combat heavy sessions is probably the way to go.
Yeah.
For
right, I'm going to end the recording there then.